Hello, beautiful light workers, star seeds, and earth angels. In today's transmission and channeling, we want to activate the Empress and King archetype within yourself. To begin the activation, I wanted to share with you an example of a recent timeline shift that I have experienced myself. And I wanted to share this example not in a way to glorify myself in any way like that, but to give you an example of what using past life healing can do to help you bend and change timeline, not only for your future, but also simultaneously heal other lifetimes and heal other people as well. It's important now, everyone. We are approaching this really powerful stage of the collective consciousness evolution. You as a light worker is in a very powerful state of being, ushering and leading energetically the creation and manifestation of the new earth. Everything that you're meant to create here in this lifetime benefits not only you, but beyond you in this lifetime and to the collective whole. So every time that you heal yourself, everyone, I want you to remind yourself that though it feels very uncomfortable at times, that what you're doing now, it's like a ripple effect. You might think it is just like a 20-minute healing session. You might think that it's just a 1-hour healing session. But if you zoom out your consciousness to a higher dimensional state, you see by you healing this timeline, you are simultaneously healing all these fractals that is created by this vibration. And by you healing that timeline, the people that were involved in that timeline also get healed at the same time. So whenever you're feeling a little low energy or down when it comes to your own inner journey, remind yourself this, that the power and your legacy and destiny is both sides of the same coin. Right now, right here, the powerful consciousness, the powerful state of being that you are. You are powerful, and do not let outside media, outside influences tell you otherwise. It is by you embodying this true inner king and inner queen within yourself that you bring forth your legacy and destiny through every single thing that you speak, every single thing that you do, and every single thing that you create. Now, in today's transmission, we want to talk about the importance of the king and queen archetype. We sometimes think that if you are a female, you should work on the queen archetype. That's one side of the story. As an example, as a woman myself, it is also important for me to heal the king within myself as well. So as I bring forth this transmission today, I'm talking about the archetypes. I'm talking about the yin and yang, the divine masculine and feminine within all of you. Because no matter what our identification is or embodiment on the physical level, we have the king and we have the queen within ourselves. So I wanted to share with you just a humble example, like I mentioned earlier in this live, this transmission, this story that I've just went through. And it's really powerful, and I really wanted to share it to inspire you. So as you hear the story, simultaneously, because you have such a high consciousness, I want you to take what I'm sharing in my experience as a way that the universe is speaking to you today. Using my example, reflect it into your own life to see what your higher self and your universe is trying to tell you through this transmission. So right now in my path, some of you that have been in the same team with me for the past few years have noticed that there's a shift within my state of being. I'm allowing myself to expand more, to embrace more, because of my ultimate vision. My ultimate vision is to rebuild the Lemurian temples upon Earth. I want to see the 12 lineages of the rose being manifested in the collective on the physical level. That's my ultimate vision. This have already been started in the ether or the internet through my own business. All the courses that I'm teaching, all the trainings, and all the clients and students that I'm working with now, the temple is already created. By you watching this live right now, you are already in this temple with me and alongside with the other masters that are alongside this path with you. We see you as the master that you are as well. So this is my ultimate vision that I'm here to create. And I cannot play small if that's the vision that I want to create with the collective. So every single healer that I'm training, all the high priestess, high priest, master healers that I'm training in the future, some of them perhaps meant to be part of my team. Some of them are part of my team to help me create these temples on the community level. So this is where I'm expanding and really doing the inner work to allow myself to embody now the king and queen archetype. I have mastered the high priestess, high priest archetype to be a channel, to be a messenger, an activator of masters that are walking upon earth right now. You that is listening. Now I'm on this other path to master these two archetypes. So yesterday, when I was doing some inner work with myself, with the help of one of my healer and master teacher as well, we went to a past life. In this past life, I've already known this is part of my past life because I love the Viking culture. In that past life, my master told me in the vision that I saw, I said, I saw this king dying. Like I saw a scene of a body being burned, and I saw these people crying around this king. So I was watching this scene. My master told me, that's you, that's you, the king. But at that time, I was so not grounded and have not healed my inner wounded masculine wound that I refused to accept that. So you see, by me refusing to accept that, not only was I turning away the king archetype within me, I was also kind of in a way disempowering my master healer that was guiding me at the time to say, no, you're not right. That's not me. But she held space for me to do that. And so finally at yesterday, at the point of this timeline shift, I finally accepted that's my past life. In one of my past life, and again, my ego is in check, everyone. I'm not saying this to glorify myself. I'm sharing this as an inspiration for you to implement this transmission into your own life, okay? In this past life, I was a king, and the first thing I saw was this old man. He's fat, he's old, he looks tired and exhausted. He had a glass of wine in front of him, and he was just depressed. He was a depressed king. So I watched him in my healing session, and I'm like, okay, where was the glory in this? Well, why am I being shown this, my higher self? My higher self started to show me more about this past life. He was a duke. He had a piece of land that he took care of, his tribe of people. His land was not very fertile, so the farm didn't produce a lot of produce, enough to pay taxes to the king at that time. So what I did in that lifetime was, even in this lifetime, I carried the same value, being very honorable, and I cared about the people. I didn't pay the king my share of taxes, because if I were to pay that king that taxes, my people would starve to death. So as a leader, I was in between conflict. I'm like, okay, do I answer to the kingdom, or do I be the rightful king and say the people is more important? In that lifetime, I chose my people. As a result, I was assassinated. I saw my cup of wine was poisoned, and I died at the age of 49. So in my past life healing, I started to talk to this past life self of mine, which I did not expect. I was like, why am I healing this? I'm working on the queen. Why am I being shown this king? He was so tired. And in the vision, I was already in like the ever bright waters in Lemurian healing vibration. And in the ever bright waters, he just took a breath and he was healing himself. So ever bright water is a type of light codes that I teach in the 12 rose path as part of the Lemurian rose lineages. So those of you that might not be familiar, is a type of light code and is used for healing. So I saw that past life self of mine, that king, he reverted as he healed in the ever bright water light codes. He become handsome again. He becomes stoic. He become young again. Then I was able to communicate with him. So I asked him, I'm like, what do I need to know? Why are you showing up at this time? What are you trying to share with me? So he shows me all of that, what has happened in the past, that I died and I was assassinated because I refused to answer to the kingdom. So now in this lifetime, I had a fear of me, okay, if I'm really going to show up as the spiritual leader that I am, what if I get resistance? What if I get hate? What if I get negative comments directed at me? There was some type of fear. I wanted to stay in the safety of the high priestess because that's what I feel more comfortable. I'm like, working with my group of students, my group of soul tribe feels more comfortable to me because these are people like yourself that are on the same path as me. For me to expand my reach, to create more resources, to hire these healers, to work with my soul tribe, to create the temples, I need to be a different version of myself. And that was not safe because I'm like expanding my reach. So I'm going to expose myself to more vulnerability to become criticized or judged by people that don't understand our vision or our wisdom. So that was the king coming forth to me that it's time to heal that. And so in my meditation, I saw him and I stripped away all his old clothes and I gave him new clothes. I gave him a golden cape. I gave him a new crown. And then I hear the word from my higher self, the rightful king. By me healing him like that in that lifetime, I actually allowed him in that lifetime to be in the energy of, instead of the wounded inner king, to become the rightful king for the people. So then it created this whole vibrational shift within me that instead of me feeling defeated and playing small in the safety of my comfort zone, I carried myself differently. I don't know if you can tell, my vibration has been shifting very rapidly. The way that I held my posture is different. The way that I talk to people now and the way that I'm now gathering my team to help me manifest this vision is different. And so I want you to also now, everyone, you're listening to this transmission for a reason. There's a part of you that is a wounded queen or wounded king that wants to be healed. There's a part of you that is a leader, that is a master, that's meant to come forth and be birthed and manifested. And so listen in within yourself, everyone. What needs to be healed? And it's both the queen and the king, so that you in this now as a master alchemist can embody the true essence of who you are. Now, beyond that, now what happened after I did that past life healing with that wounded inner king that was living within me, the next day, this morning, I started to have people come to me and give me messages that I'm supposed to grow bigger. I'm supposed to allow myself to really reach more people because I'm the type of people like you, everyone, have a genuine heart. I am aware of my shadows and I'm doing my shadow work. I am the type of light worker that does not use positive bypassing, just like you. I'm the type of light worker that keeps my ego in check. I'm the type of light workers that is really genuinely here to serve. So I need to rise up. I need to rally my fellow light workers like yourself on the energetic sense to manifest this together. Because I know I'm not meant to do this myself. I'm here to do it in the collective level, on the community level. And so in my dream this morning, as I remembered it, another timeline got healed that I wasn't aware of. In this timeline, I was an old woman. I worked in something that feels like a palace or something, some kind of establishment, but I was an old woman. I was taking care of some children. In this establishment, it could even be like a brothel of some type. I was in a room and then I hear in the other room this woman like being really uncomfortable because a man was kind of sexually harassing her or maybe sexually abusing her. In my dream, I became that woman and I became the consciousness of her. And I was listening to the discomfort of this female, and I decided to step in. I called her name and I said her name, and I said, "Come on in here, I need your help." So she came into the room and I saw her, she was crying. And I asked her the question, I was like, "Is he bothering you? Is he harming you?" And she nodded her head while she was crying. So then I was like, "Okay, stay here and take care of these children for me. I need your help." Then I saw myself in the vision approaching that guy who was harassing her, and I put him in his place with my words. I said, "Leave her alone. She's not your property. You shouldn't be treating her this way." And then in that moment, she was like energetically clinging to me. So I feel that in that moment, what my higher self was trying to show me is, once I heal that past life of the wounded inner king, that past life of mine simultaneously feel empowered to step up and protect that woman that was getting harassed, where in my life I would have not said anything perhaps. So I have created a shift, not only healing myself in the archetype, but whoever that soul is that I stood up for in that lifetime, I'm sure simultaneously she's getting healed as well in her own way. Because now I'm saying, I'm the grandmother, I'm here to protect you. So maybe this person, right, in my dream, in that lifetime, same thing, is also working on herself to heal a wounded feminine wound. Maybe she have wound to feel females won't stick up for me. They would just hear me being, abused and not say anything. But now we have shifted that timeline. So now maybe in her present life, she's healing, right? Being more comfortable in trusting females. So that was really interesting. I was like, wow, interesting how timeline works. And now with this other male that I was dealing in the dream as well, is a message to heal the wounded inner child in male as well. So there was like so many messages contained within that past life session and then in my dream. And then manifesting it to my reality now, where I'm emailing people and say, "I need your help to help me expand. Talk to me." I'm bringing in new people, new clients that I would have never felt comfortable to work with. Men, for example, non-binary people. I now even have blind and deaf healers reaching out to me and say, "Tiffany, I want you to train me how to channel." I am, I was just talking to a healer who's deaf, and she's like, "There's no one in my community that can channel for me." So I became that healer. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Yes, I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you to become a great channeler for your community and beyond." So as I'm healing this, everyone, the universe is responding to my energy, and they are looking at me to say, "This soul is ready. She's ready to expand more." And it's through this healing that I'm doing on myself, right? That I manifest not only in the state that I carry myself, but the people that I'm bringing in under my wing, and the people that I'm calling in to help me rise, and the people beyond that I can describe are healing themselves as well. And because you are in the same frequency as me, everyone, you are going to heal yourself too. We are doing this, boom, like this, in one moment, all together. So I want to hear from you, everyone. How have you been in this past week? Has your dream been revealing something to you? Has your inner landscape been changing? Have you been invited to expand in a larger way as well? Now, time works very interestingly now. So even as you're watching this replay, maybe a few years from now, it still applies. You're now being invited by a higher self to initiate the queen and the king within yourself. So my question to you is, what is within you that you want to birth forth that goes beyond your own life legacy? A queen and king leads because her legacy and his legacy benefits the collective. So stop thinking about your relationship, a twin flame that you want to manifest, a business that you want to create, a job that you want to apply for, something that's you. Start thinking about this job, this company that I'm going to find myself in, we're all going to benefit. Maybe you're the person that's going to bring the knowledge of herbs into this company, and someone in that company's child struggle with some health problem, and you link them to the knowledge of herbs and you become that healer for them. Maybe the relationship that you meant to manifest is not manifesting now because you have not activated your queen and king frequency. Maybe your twin flame on the other end of their journey is working on the same path. Meeting you right now, you might actually be distracting each other. So maybe as part of your soul contract, you meet them when both of you have actualized and feel confident enough to become kings and queens together. I would have never become in a relationship or divine union with my twin flame if I did not let myself rise and open to the possibility of being the high priestess or the empress, building my own business that is aligned to my soul purpose. Because if I was still in the damsel in distress mode, even if I was to meet him, number one, I wouldn't be the woman that he's looking for. Number two, I wouldn't feel worthy enough to even date him, because I would look at him like, this guy is so pure, so confident. Why would he date me? And that has happened to me. And those of you that might be listening, you might feel like nice guys or nice girls finish last. No, it simply means you aren't ready for your true king and queen because you haven't initiated the queen and king within yourself. So a lot of you at this time, as you're going through spiritual awakening as well, you find yourself in a way breaking off your relationship. So many of my own priestesses that I'm working with for years now, because once I accept a disciple, I accept them for life. They can come work with me whenever they want. Things happens in life, focus on that, come back, work with me. A few years down the road, completely up to you. But they always shows me that once they awaken and they stand in their power, sometimes a relationship falls apart because that person cannot hold a vibration of you. They cannot see your future self. They are not yet the king or the queen that they meant to become to hold the same throne with you. So sometimes when relationship falls apart can be very painful, but just know that there's someone better fit for you, right, in the future. Once you have allowed yourself to reach that state of being. My twin flame always joked, he said, once I was born, I always knew there was a goddess for me. And the first time I met him, before we were dating, we were just walking together after a yoga class. I told him no one would marry me. And he said, I'll marry you. And I was like, whatever. He did. I did marry him. So that was because I completely changed my state of being. I went from who's going to love me, who's going to provide security for me, to, screw it. I'm not going to focus on dating guys. I'm not going to focus on looking for a guy to save me. I'm going to start my business that feels good to my heart. I started in my weekend of my 9 to 5, just posting on Kijiji and Craigslist, meditation classes, donation-based. And what I did was I took all the profit that I got and I created a class for people that can't afford these services. So I showed the universe that I was serious. I'm not here to mess around. And that's how my business started to grow and actualize itself. So it was in the moment that I decided my legacy was more important than finding a man that the man showed up. So I'm inviting you, everyone, as I'm sharing this really humbly to you, is not to say, oh, look at her, she got everything now. Of course, it's easy for her to say, is no, I struggled. I struggled big time, just like you. In other areas as well, some of you might be more advanced than I am, right? And some areas I might look like I'm more advanced than you, but all of these teachings in the underline of it can be applied to your own life. So I want you to release now, everyone, as you take a deep breath in, to release the victimhood within yourself, the feeling of, I cannot achieve this, the feeling of, what's the point? The feeling of, how am I actually going to do this? Look at it as a collective manifestation. Start to make a call now, everyone. Take a deep breath in. Tell the universe, this is my vision. This is what I'm here to build. My vision benefits the collective. Soul group, come and find me, come and work with me. I'm ready to create this legacy. I'm taking you all with me. Come and find me. Send that out energetically to the universe. That compels the collective to work with you even more. Allow yourself now, don't be afraid to take charge of your life like the queen and king. Some of you might have, for example, blockages of time. I don't have enough time. You have. You have the time. You have that 1 or 2 hours a week to really work on your vision. You just chose to feed into the excuses, right? So now find a reason to do it. Find a reason, 1 hour a week, to start working on your soul purpose, your actualization. Money, I hear this a lot from fellow light workers. I don't have money. Money is energy. Money is a resource. Jesus, when he started, had to build skills, everyone. He had to learn, now our modern day equivalent, marketing. Can you imagine the amount of time he had to speak his message, the amount of time he had to put himself out there to share his wisdom? There wasn't even internet. He has to say everything over and over every single day. Now you record a video and anyone can find you and your message and your transmission with a click of a button. It's so much easier now. Jesus had to also, in his own way, learn what it's like to be a master on this plane. He had judgment from people. He ultimately had to give up his life to fulfill his purpose. And so when you feel in those days, no one's gonna listen to me, oh, I'm getting a negative comment, think about these masters. They have to go through so much more, but their legacy now lives in our consciousness. And so even if your legacy were to live in the mind of your children, in the mind of your students, in the mind of your clients, in the mind of the people that you've helped, that's your legacy. So this goes beyond you, everyone. Money as well. When you know how to build skills and resourcefulness, the universe will help you. I don't have unlimited resources. I wasn't born in a privileged family. I had to build everything my own. I worked hard in my 9 to 5, and I took all my savings, all of the resources that I can, as much as I can, and I invested into my business. Not because I wanted to be those gurus who make like, look at me, I have a mansion, I make 100,000 grand a month, blah, 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 but because it's important to me. I'm willing at that time to sacrifice at that time my spending habits, right? I used to make a lot of money in the 9 to 5, so I would like blend in with the culture, because in that culture you're supposed to wear expensive handbag, put makeup, do your hair, wear these like brand name clothes that I was comfortable with. I said, universe, I'm willing to give that up. It might come back down the road to me. I'll receive it. And it did took me a while, everyone. I gave that all up. I just stripped down my ego. I wasn't afraid to go into value village, because, you know, in the corporate, if you tell people you go to value village, they will look at you and be like, what's wrong with her? But I happily went to value village, Salvation Army and stuff. I cut my spending to really what is important. Every single dime that I spend now is, if I can support a light worker who makes, you know, handmade deodorant, I'm going to give it to them. If I can, now I support Planet Hope, and they create these little pods that you can put into your plastic bottle, and all you do is fill it up with water and it dissolves. There's no plastic bottle needed. I'm going to give those people my money. So the way that I spend have completely changed. And I did live a little bit frugally for a while, but now that it's been like 8 years, I have returned to a state where now I have my own child, my own beautiful daughter. Now with my twin flame, we're working hard to create, this house. We got a car. We're building up the wealth, right? That we can, so that we can share the wealth. We are not the type of people who's like, those people that make so much money, but they just hoard it for themselves. For me, it's like, if I have money to buy a private jet, that would go into a healing center. That would go into like, a healing temple for all to access. So this is the message we're bringing forth. I'm sharing this with you, not to, again, like make myself grandiose or anything, but I'm telling this to the universe and say, listen, universe, this is my vision. This is my calling. This is what I'm here to manifest. Thank you for holding space and witnessing that, everyone. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm sharing it because I'm telling the universe, this is what I'm here to manifest. So bring it, universe. Let's do it. So I invite you, everyone, for your homework. What do you want to declare to the universe as the king and queens that you are? What are you here to manifest? And if there's something, a resource that's lacking, there's always a way to manifest it. If you feel like you're lacking in a certain skill, I'll give you an example. Let's say you need an assistant, but you don't have that capital yet. You can offer an energy exchange. Hey, I can give you this amount of healing sessions a month for exchange of this many hours of your time to assist me in expanding my business. And as I become more successful, I can pay you more and more. Another example is if you have a skill, right? And there's another skill that you want to learn. Look at the person you want to learn from and say, I can help them, be really good at this area of their life. And in exchange, they can help me with this area of my life that I'm not very good at. So start thinking about this in terms of energy exchange, because the more that both of you succeed collectively, we amplify the energy. Okay. Everything is a skill that you can learn. That's the mindset of an empress, a mindset of a king, is to look at, I don't have this. Now, how can I acquire it? Everything that I'm acquiring is for the benefit of the people that I'm in service to. It gives you a very different state of being. It gives you a very state of being that shifts you from, I can't do this, to, I might not have it now. What do I need to get there? You can apply this to comparison as well. If you find yourself comparing to a person that have the wealth that you want, the relationship that you want, the life that you want, instead of feeling triggered and saying they have what I want and I don't, you can ask yourself and really analyze that person. Well, if they can do it, it means that it's possible. So what do they know that I can learn from? What do they implement into their lives that I can implement so I can be in the same timeline as them? How do I now learn from them and merge it in my own consciousness so that it has my own unique energy signature? That's the embodiment of the true king and queens. So that's my homework for you from this transmission today, is to feel into how you can manifest that king and queen within yourself. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to today's transmission. I always felt like I was a king queen, always dreaming about castle and medieval times. Many of you are leaders, everyone. Might not be a king or queen, but you might have been an elder. You might have been a council. You might have been a grandmaster in Qigong. That master's energy, you can absorb it from your Akash, embody it into this now. You might not be teaching Qigong in this lifetime, but you can download the energy signature into your present self and use it, right, to manifest in this lifetime. So think about past life healing as something that's multidimensional, not just one-sided thing. And I feel that even sometimes in the spiritual community, there's a lot of resistance about timeline or past life, because they're like, oh, it has nothing to do with the present. Depends how you look at it. If you have a higher consciousness and you can see into the timeline without letting your ego or your shadow hook into it, it can work magic for you. This is where a lot of people, or sometimes light workers I see, go astray, is that they take some of the past life archetype and they absorb it into their ego. And then they go forth and claim themselves as an incarnation of an ascended master, blah, blah, blah. And then they started to be in this power state that doesn't serve anyone, right? So then they create confusion in the people that follow them, and so forth. So it's important for us to do our shadow work consistently as a healer, a teacher, a light worker, for that very reason. I've also had people tell me that they come and join me because previous teachers that they have either won't activate them because fearing that they might become more successful than they are, or that they're very harsh with their students because they feel like they have been this like guru or this really higher figure. So it's important for us to embody and learn and do our shadow work so that we can serve from a place of purity. Hi, Fabiola, nice to see you. And the inner one, Egyptian energy, Egyptian nun, absolutely. Hi, Mabel. Good to see you. Yeah, Mabel was my healer that helped me with my session. So thank you, Mabel, giving you a shout out. My last night dream, I went through a forest full of yellow snakes and got to the end of a path, seen a bigger yellow snake, and it turned around and looked at me so calmly and turned back towards light. Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. How did you interpret that? From my end, just from like intuition, I feel like the yellow snake symbolizes your power, right? Like the solar plexus. So it's like you taking pieces of yourself that contain power and merging it into this one bigger golden snake. Snake is transformation and wisdom and spiritual energy. So I feel like your higher self is trying to tell you that you are doing good. You're merging these aspects within yourself and merging into this one state of being. Thank you, everyone, for witnessing my journey. You're 1000% right, Tiffany. I'm the physical proof. That's amazing, Witchy Homestead. I'm so happy and proud of you as a fellow light worker. I try to manifest to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, okay. Interesting. So it's like, what do you like about him? So he is like an embodiment, right? Is it the way he talks that inspire you, or is it like the way he leads that inspire you? This live show me again why you're the only spiritual YouTuber I can actually watch. Thank you. I am humbled. I keep doing the work. I am with you all. I wish I can access my previous abilities. You absolutely can, everyone. So the abilities that you have gathered in your past life is for a reason. It's almost as though your higher self have prepared you in this lifetime by having you have those past lives so that you can actualize your abilities. I find that a lot of you just need a little boost to activate your abilities. So wherever you're at, find an activator that can see you for who you are. Find a spiritual teacher that is not afraid that you will become more successful than them. Find a spiritual healer that actually sees who you are, but not projecting their version of you onto you. So it's very important. And that's why I'm very grateful to all of you, because I see this in a lot of the students and masters that I am training, that you guys have this consciousness. You guys are doing the shadow work. You're putting in the work, the time. No one said this path of legacy is going to be easy, everyone. Sometimes students would say, it's hard. It's hard to watch a class. It's boring. Then I say, well, what's your worthy cause? Is it worth watching an hour of Netflix? Or is it worth watching an hour of a class to expand your consciousness? which one serves you and the collective more? Then it instantly shifts their vibration. I take classes too, everyone. I still take classes. I still take classes on how to build a skill as a business owner because I needed to learn that. So I'm watching, yes, boring classes, but it's supposed to help me. And as I absorb those classes, I take those skills and then I teach it to my own students. So I absorb it, integrate it, learn it, practice it, and then I share it with my students. So I never look at it as like, oh, 1 hour of my boring time. Is 1 hour becomes 1,000 hours of empowerment, not only to myself, to everyone that is in my community. Thank you for your interpretation. That's beautiful. Awesome. I witnessed the king in you. It's time for you to rise. Thank you for the messages. I've actually been in this vibration working on my Empress Emperor wound. So this is a great confirmation. That's amazing. Nazinga. I'm so happy to hear. We're all in the same timeline. Spirit is always talking to us. Many of us hear the call. Some of us answers. Some of us actually do the work and answer it. And so I honor you for that, everyone. Every course that you invest is your time, is your money. But you chose to invest in yourself because you can see what is the larger picture. You can see what is more important. And I want to honor you for that because I'm the same way. And a lot of people might not see that and acknowledge that, but I want you to know I acknowledge it. I tried accessing via different Reiki energy, but I wasn't successful yet. So if we're still talking about spiritual gifts goes beyond Reiki. So Reiki is like chi, right? So it's a different channel. If you work with Reiki, it will activate your Reiki ability. Now, if you want to work with your spiritual gifts, you have to work with spiritual gifts. So for example, if your spiritual gift is light language, then you have to work with light language to activate it. Working with Reiki is like two different vibrations. They complement each other, but it's not going to activate your light language by using Reiki on its own. That's why I have so many courses, everyone. It's not that, it's not that I just created them out of thin air. Is my clients and students, I see the message that, oh, there's this group of beings that want to activate their light language. I need to create a container for that. There's now a group of beings that want to relearn the 12 rows path of Lemuria. Maybe they will become temple keepers with me. I need to create the container for that. So it's thinking about what your gifts are, getting really clear on your gifts, and then using the appropriate frequency to activate it. So work with a powerful activator that understands this. A lot of people know how to use their gifts. Not a lot of teachers know how to activate that gift in you. Okay. So that's what a grandmaster does. That's what a high priestess does. Is they're not just a healer. They're just not a transmitter. They activate the master in you. Very true. Need to stop watching junk again. I don't think classes are boring. That's great. It's just I haven't found anyone recently that resonates with much. There's a part in you that wants to grow, isn't it? There's a part within you that wants to grow and speak as well. I feel this energy coming out from the throat as you share with me that. So you're actualizing your purpose. I am. Also, I recommend the new animation Mavka. It's so spiritual and it's about Ukrainian mythology. Thank you for sharing that. Witchy Homestead. That's really cool. I'm going to check it out. I can't believe you thought no one. I really thought that. I was like, I'm just going to be like a nun in this lifetime. But that's us, right? Our sabotage. When we're in that stage, we feel like, I can't make the money that I want to make. I can't have the relationship that I want to have because we are so stuck in our tunnel vision. So when we expand, We now allow the universe to bring in more energy towards us. Recently, I made a bad choice with spiritual teaching coaching, and it happens to me very so often. So I need time to recover from emotional, physical, and financially. Absolutely, I feel you. Just because we are intuitive doesn't mean that sometimes we make the greatest choices. But also, here's the thing: it might not have been a mistake. It might have been a way for you to complete some timeline with that person. I'll give you guys some examples. I'm being vulnerable here. I've actually made some investments that were really bad in business coaches. I'm kind of innocent and naive. Sometimes I think if I have such a good heart to help people, then these people who say they conscious business coaches would be in the same way. And then, they charge like thousands of dollars to be a business coach. And I'm like, they suck. I was like, I should have just kept my money and hired someone that's aligned with me. So then I feel you, I see what you're saying. You have to like recover from those choices. But the empowering perspective that I've began to embody is maybe in the past life, I owe them something or there was some kind of karmic debt that I have to complete. So I just look at that and be like, energetically, I completed that lesson. Now I'm going to move on. There's going to be more for me. There's going to be more opportunities, more teachings, more abundance for me. I just need to, again, shift myself into a different state. Just like I did in the relationship, I had to shift myself from the damsel in distress to the priestess, goddess. Same thing in my business. Instead of feeling someone need to help me with my business because I'm not good at it, to I'm already good at it. I just need someone now to be in my team to help me expand. So it's like that little shift. So I'm sending you love, I am, and anyone that's watching feeling this way, there's another side of the story. Take your time to rest, take your time to, recuperate yourself. But just know that on the bigger picture, you're going to be more successful. On the bigger picture, now that you've gained this wisdom, you're going to be even more self-aware. You're going to be like elevating yourself so much more than the people that you hired. So try to not feel too bad about it. Hello, Fatima. Nice to see you. Amazing. Thank you for sharing divine wisdom to all. Thank you so much. Yeah, so now I have about 15 minutes, everyone. Let me know if you guys have any questions about your own path, anything that you want to ask me, Q&A. I'm here at your service. Any advice on dealing with people who treat one as delusional? I choose to be quiet about my beliefs as I'm still studying. I have to work harder to prove I'm competent, but it's hard with non-believers. Brandy, you never had their approval in the first place. So there's no point of trying to bribe them to agree with you. So I have this too, Brandy, and I realize this is the people pleaser within us. We're so nice as light workers that if we were in the world together, we would instantly be in the fifth dimension. We wouldn't need to be being the light workers doing the work. So my advice is I feel you. I feel that feeling in the heart, and you just want to like contract right in your shell to feel safe. But come to peace and accept that the non-believers didn't believe in themselves in the first place. So even if you tell them there's a force, a benevolent force that is available to help you, they don't believe in themselves enough to believe in that force, then it's a reflection of that. They may seem like they don't believe in you. So it's about releasing that people pleasing and saying, why am I trying to bribe their approval? Why am I trying to bribe their agreement to my beliefs? Because Brandy, your beliefs creates your reality. Your beliefs creates your reality. So I invite you to shift your belief instead of focusing on the non-believer and letting them dim your light. Shift it into this new belief that what I have to share, it's important, it's helpful, and those that hear me from my heart will be compelled to join me in the same timeline. It is those souls that I'm meant to work with. It is those souls that I'm meant to connect with. I command it so, and so it is. That's the shift. That's the vibration I'm going to see you and anchor you in, Brandy. We're going to see you in this vibration. And so it is. That is manifested. Hi, Terrence. I resonate with this so much. Thanks for this message today. Thank you. Can Jesus tell me what the heck happened the other night in the bath with my hands? I'm not quite sure what happened in your bath the other night. What you said about energy exchange, this is very often asking for exchange of energy instead of monetary exchange. Most spiritual folks didn't go for it. How can I find such people easier? Maybe in a way you need to find, and this is just my idea, I'm not saying you're right or wrong, just throwing ideas here, is that you need to find people that have the same level of skills. So give me some more examples. So if you're pitching someone for energy exchange, is that person, for example, have way more followers than you, way more ahead than you, and you're trying to exchange with them? Sometimes if you're approaching a person like that, you really have to like meet them where they at and show them you have skills that can really honor the energy exchange, for example. So, and then the other thing is, maybe it's not personal. That person have already accepted a lot of energy exchange, and they at that time cannot have more capacity to hold you in that energetic container. So that has happened to me, where I have taken on a few people for energy exchange, and then more people were coming to me, and I just said, I'm sorry, not at this time. I'm already exchanging with these people, right? So it's not personal, simply is maybe a shift in strategy of how you approach them, and a shift in your perspective on what skill you can offer them. Does that make sense? If I have more detail, I can give more advice. How do we know it's really 2024 and we're not sent back to the past and it's really 1324? This is how my mind travels. Am I experiencing the past like like, how do we know? We don't. I have completely accepted that fact. So I don't know if you guys resonate with that. I just, at this time, like, you see a lot of messages that say, here's what the Galactic Council have to say with this year. I'm kind of like in that phase in my practice where I don't care what they have to say. I care about what I need to do. So, yeah, we don't know. Everything is a relative truth because everything stems and is a reflection of our beliefs, right? But what we can all collectively agree on is, collectively, we agree that right now is 2024. And what is the essence, the importance of now is, what do we do? What do we want to actualize? So I think it's asking ourselves the right questions. Like, today, what do I want to share? Today, what do I want to learn? Today, what do I want to practice? So when we can ask ourselves the questions that really propel us forward, I think that in a way will energetically propel us into 3025, right? Is those baby steps that really create the big change. While I went into trance with body square in my hand, I was moving a block. And Jesus appeared to me, held my hand, offered to cry with me, and I put the scrub on my chest, and it was hot, and I broke out. Okay. Sounds like a healing. Sounds like a healing that occurred for you, where Jesus' love just melted you and helped you crack open your heart. I think it's really beautiful. I love hearing stories like that. Thanks for sharing the witchy homestead, because these stories are beautiful. I feel like some of us are meant to take these stories and create books with them. Again, I have lots of ideas. I have lots of ideas for my fellow light workers, but I cannot do it all alone. In a rush. Okay. Wow, that's really powerful. Amazing. It was directed over my heart chakra. Yeah, that's what I felt too. It's like your heart chakra really cracking open the heart, perhaps for you to receive. Direction on proceed, feeling very stuck. Okay. So when we are feeling stuck, and I'm just saying that not because I'm saying, you know, in any way I'm better than you, I have felt stuck even just 2 days before. So when we feel stuck, what it is there's a part of you that have unmet potential that wants to actualize itself. So the stuckness in itself is stuck energy that wants to create. So, Irene, I think the first thing you can do, right, is to harness that stuck energy like an arrow and then launch it forward to create something, whatever the cost to you. Maybe is a piece of content, just write it out, a blog post. Maybe is a piece of art. Maybe is just going out for a run. Transform the energy of being stuck. And tell me more. Is it more like the emotional part, the mental part? If you feel comfortable in sharing. Maria, my guides tell me that I'm a priestess, and what path is to teach, that I'm going to be a leader in my community. Is difficult for me to align myself with my purpose. What can you tell me? My best advice, Maria, is find a group of priestesses that you resonate with and then be in that same portal with them. So find a group of priestesses. I have a group of priestesses. If you type in like Rose Priestess in Google, you see a lot of priestess groups. There's, I think, like a Rose Priestess Path, Rose Lineages. Find a group of priestesses, because priestesses don't work alone. And I think that's where a lot of women is stuck. They reach out to me, they tell me they want to be healer, they want to be priestess. But then when the time, like I show up in their face, or when we in the meeting, or when the time the universe shows them now it's time to make a move, they don't. So you have to heal maybe some trauma. Maybe you were bullied by a female, or there was some past life trauma where you don't feel safe in a group of priestesses, or actualizing or embracing your gifts, because that's a divine feminine power, right? Like womb healing and so forth. Be in that group, because once again, priestesses do not work alone. So if you try to carve a path for yourself alone, you will find yourself reach a ceiling. So that's my best advice to you from my own experiences. Let's see. Thank you, Diona. Thank you for being in this timeline. I'm not sure how to show them my skills. My skills are very specific and involve around knowledge of health, herbs, and plants. Advice on interpersonal relationship too, but that can be tricky. Okay. So maybe you have to get clear on who you are meant to serve. Like, so with herbs, with health, it must be someone that is connected to the elemental realm, right? Elemental realm and plant spirit and so forth. So maybe creating an offering surrounding that. Leaders work with leaders. So if you can come into, again, your queen, king archetype and show the universe that you are a leader, then leaders will also mirror that energy as well. You might be doing this already. I'm not sure. I don't have a lot of details, but maybe it's time. I just feel like sharing this to you, is see yourself as a leader and share forth your offerings. My birthday is in 5 days, so happy early birthday, Fabiola. I'm feeling like I'm on the right track with my life mission, which I don't have an answer yet, but one step at a time. Absolutely. Thank you for being the teacher that I need. Thank you so much for being in this space. Eve, do you and Spirit have a message for me on what I should be focusing on now? I've been feeling called to rise up and start a spiritual business, serve others. I'm working on releasing fear and doubt. Okay, Eve, mindset. That's what I'm hearing. just even without tuning with your higher self, just intuitively heart to heart as human to human, is your mindset. So mindset work is really needed for you. I'm not sure if you have me on your Instagram, but on my Instagram, I focus on mindset. Well, YouTube too, but mindset more in regards to spiritual healers and light workers. So find me on Instagram, and everyone please be aware there's a lot of scammers on Instagram. My Instagram is only High Priestess Ascension. That's my only account. There has been imposters. I will not DM you for readings. I will not DM you for money. That is not me. So find my original account by going to like the description below this video. Follow me because my free content address exactly what you're asking me right now, releasing fear and doubt. So allow me to be part of your team of servants or team of service. Maybe some of my content can help shift your mindset and get you in the space where you can actualize yourself as that spiritual healer. Any tips on lucid dreaming? He or she who lucid dreams, do they go at least to the fourth dimension when they pass? I don't really want to go below the third dimension. So this echo into our beliefs. So if you believe like some lineages that when you pass, you go to either this dimension or this dimension, then that's how you're going to reflect, right? But if you believe that upon the passing of this dimension, you will arrive and exit the matrix, you arrive in this sacred space where you then get to choose where you want to be as a soul on the next life, then I feel that that's what's going to be reflected. So it's building out. I think there was a modality, someone told me about it. One of my priestess that I've trained is called In Between Lives or something like that. In between lives, they do like a little training on preparing for your next life, right? So something like that might be helpful. I don't know too much about it, but that's what I heard about. With lucid dreaming as well, it depends. I find that sometimes people lucid dream using their astral body and then they go into the astral realm. What I teach my students to do is to use the light body to access the spiritual dimension. Your astral body is the fourth layer of your aura, so it's in this bandwidth, right? Your light body is the outer layers of your aura is already a higher state of being. So if you use your light body, innately you already a few octaves above the astral realm. So the things that you see are going to be lighter, clearer, and higher vibration. The astral realm, you're still going to be in the astral realm. Sometimes there's astral entities and so forth, right, that you might encounter. So I would say any tips, that would be my tip, is to use your light body instead of the astral body. The light body in itself, from my observation, don't have blockages. It's simply turning it on. It's like the purest part of your spiritual self. Whereas the astral body, because of the collective consciousness, sometimes can have like nightmares, sometimes can explore the shadows, sometimes can be quite heavy at times. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but the last 2 weeks was very turbulent in the astral realm. Whereas now you've seen the astral realm clearing a bit more, right? As light workers have been diving in, doing the work, doing the cleansing. Now, higher state of being, new energy. Hi, Harmony. Nice to see you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you to you as well. What advice would you give young people who are having issues with the way of the education system is set? What can they do to feel more comfortable with education? So Harmony, actually, I feel you. I feel you because I have a daughter and I don't resonate with the traditional educational system. I feel there's so much trauma that can be avoided if teachers and the system would be taught and trained in the ancient way, the Lemurian way. So I feel you. And I feel that the best thing that you can do, and depending on your situation, is make the most out of it. See yourself experiencing the system, if you can get out of it, and see what can you change? What would you change? Because Harmony, there's actually, I know real light workers that are working in the scenes to create new education system. There are homeschools, communities that are rising. There are teachers that are quitting the traditional system. They're trying to be creators of new education system. So I don't know, maybe you are part of that project too. Maybe you become an assistant to a collective of this group. Maybe later on in your life, you will become like a consultant. Maybe in your life, people will come into you and ask you like, what was wrong with the system? What can we improve? So look at your experience now as research, right? As a human, you're like researching, you're like, huh, that's how children get bullied because the teachers are not around to guide these children. So you just like observe these observations without absorbing too much into it. And you never know what your experience now, Harmony, is going to help you down your future. Same thing with my example. Like I used to be a clinic manager. I used to do a lot of administration work. I used to work with children in daycare. Worked in hotel. All of those skills that I thought was jobs that I didn't care about actually does help me in my business right now in many ways. So your experience now is going to help you in the future as well. I'm currently in bed with lower back pain. Any tips spiritually for healing? John, we send you light, we send you love, surrounding you with a warm, loving, pink energy. And it is my wish for you to be released from the pain, find a breathing room from the pain. And I also, on behalf of humanity, want to see you healthy, want to see you well. That is our wish and prayer for you. Thank you, Eve. Yeah, feel free to check out my resources. You can DM me on Instagram if you want to have a consultation with me, see if anything that I offer is an alignment to you. John, I always put a frequency music for the current ailment, helps with relief. That's amazing. See, this is a community that we're building, we're helping each other. And speaking of community, everyone, the next stage of my project is I want to create a community, something like this, what we're doing, but with more. So I want to create a very affordable membership portal where you can receive activations from the master healers. I train myself. So I vetted them. I know these are pure souls to give you guys healing, like light codes or transmission or channeling. I'll be doing monthly workshops as well. And I'm also going to do more like Q&A as well in the membership portal. So I want to create more like coherency in the community. That's what my next vision is. And I want to make it a membership because I want it to be like a low price, very affordable for the majority of people to join us in this vortex, because it is my purpose to activate more of you becoming your master self, because when you succeed, we all succeed together. What you said, the astral has been a certain way. I had a dream about me pulling out darkness from someone's mouth. That could be me doing the work. Absolutely. So last week I was in dreams where I was healing people and coaching people in my dreams. And I was so tired when I woke up, but I don't know what I was doing. Again, time is like this, right? So in your dream, you're getting glimpses of these timelines and portals. So I was like, cool. I'm glad I'm doing light worker work in my dream too. So those of you that feel the same way, yes, you're doing the work in the astral. And you never know, it might be someone that you're meant to work with, but they are not at that stage yet, and you're working with them in the dream time. So a lot of spiritual teachers does that. Like if a student is struggling, sometimes I would go into a deep meditation and really give them like a healing. And then they will tell me they have a dream of me talking to them, and then they feel much lighter. So you see how time is so relative. It's so interesting, isn't it? It's mind-blowing. And it's my wish for like the collective to just know this. Like if everyone now who's asleep know how the time works and what magic is possible for them, amazing. How can we protect from beings who we met in dream state? So that takes a little bit of practice, definitely. it does take practice. I think the more that you work on in your conscious state, purifying your mind, especially working with light codes, guys, light codes are going to help you purify your consciousness. Then in your dream state, you'll find your dream state being more, I want to say the word controllable or manageable. Instead of feeling you are susceptible to these external forces, you became the conscious timeline changer. So that definitely happened. Just like the example that I showed earlier in today's live with my dream, that wouldn't be possible if I didn't do the inner king healing. So I hope that gives you some ideas. I recently completed your 3-day opening to channel course, and it was absolutely incredible. Love every minute and gain lots of divine confirmation. That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear, Eve. Lower back pain could mostly be caused by feeling of lack of support. Does that sound right? Yeah, lack of support, ancestors as well. If there's any blockages about your ancestors, that can also come up at this time. Financial blockages can also come through the lower back, and also sexuality in the way that merges both yin and yang together. So your lower back is the main man. The main man is the center where all your sexual energy is contained before it's split into the actual physical organs, right? Either you have the male organ, female organ, or sometimes some different scenarios too. But the main man is the energy center that balances the yin and yang sexual energy as well. So it could be a few of these things, right? Either lack of support, which could be finances, or community, because your sacral has to do with your self-esteem and your connection to your community. So if those are lacking, you might feel pain in the lower back. Maybe your ancestors wants to heal with you. It's like they're knocking on your door and they don't know how to get your attention. Your body might manifest it as like a pain, as a message, as a signal to say, hey, your ancestor wants to heal with you. There's a message for you. So that could be it. Or it could be how you feel about your sexual energy. And again, sexual energy goes beyond than just what we think sexual energy is. It also has to do with creation. So I would look into these 3 aspects and see how you feel about that. Yes, I never remember my dreams, but somewhere along the lines, I was able to remember I have a choice in dream state when I realized I was able to do something different and leave the dream. Absolutely, yes. So it's practice, everyone, and we are here, not only myself, but the collective that are with us right now on the same path with you. Even if you feel alone in your life right now, I want you to, for a moment, just feel into all of our lights surrounding and all around you. Feel just like this circle that I'm wearing today, that roundedness of community. And notice what triggers and resists that idea of community. So there is a lot of healing, everyone, in our path to heal community wounds. Is very difficult because of the trauma that we have experienced, and it takes a lot of self-awareness to create harmony or coherence relationship. So my last message to you as an embodiment of the king and queen is notice, become aware. Don't just point fingers at yourself or the other person right away. Look at a difficult interaction as a signal between 2 energies. Knowing what you need to do in the situation and checking in with your higher self, right? Am I meant to be the person that is involved in the situation? Sometimes I ask my higher self that. Someone would come and then something would happen that it's not even I could help because of their self-sabotage pattern. So then I would check with my higher self, is it my path to continue working with this person? Because I've tried my best to help in all ways possible. And when they got triggered, they turned their anger towards me. So should I still continue? And then sometimes I would hear, no, it's out of your hand now. Then I would just release my involvement with that person, be like, they need their own space and time to deal with what they need to deal with now. Right? So you can check with your higher self what the energy dynamic is between a person and you. Sometimes it could be for family too. I see a lot of light workers um, struggle with family because some of you feel, how am I supposed to help my brother? How am I supposed to help this person? But it might not even be your job in the first place. It might not be your job to fix what's there in the first place. So it's like you're trying to fix everything, draining your energy. Them is like just codependent on you to fix it for them. So it might not even be your job. So I had to learn this when I'm embodying this archetype, because I was spending so much time just like involving myself to help people that I'm like, I am not even working on the bigger picture. If I work on the bigger picture and activate more healers, I'm raising the consciousness of the collective more. It's like a secondhand effect. Maybe those people would get healed too. So I need to focus on what amplifies my energy. I no longer work in the 9 to 5 slavery mindset. Instead of, how we taught in school, in corporate, like you work this hour, you get paid this much. I say no to that. I said in the 5D, what I put in is going to come back 100 times more, whatever it is. Money, time, empowerment, vision, all of it going to come back more. So that's, you guys know this already. This is the 5th dimensional consciousness, right? So when we in that consciousness, money in itself we don't even really need money in a way, or we look at it in a way that it serves us. So this is what I'm inviting you to do, is to see yourself not as an employee, but more as someone that amplifies energy. Source, you give me one person to heal, I'm going to help this person, and this person is going to heal everyone around them. That's the amplification energy. So that's what we're here to master, to practice together. So I see you. We're on the same path together. Let's do a good job with each other. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. The High Priestess and Empress in me honors the kings and queens within you. Come forth now, shine your light, go forth with power, and let's manifest this timeline together. Continue to learn with me on my YouTube channel, on my lives. Continue to allow yourself to expand beyond your comfort zone. Continue to expand, and if you feel that I am the right mentor for you, reach out, make a connection, send me a message. Send me a message on my website so that we can start linking in on the collective level and bring back the grand temples to humanity. Much love, everyone. See you next time.